Hey there, Vanagon addicts. This is Ken Wilford here at Vanagon. It's a live stream at 5. Hope you guys are having a great day. We're having a great day. We're trying to get some work done on a customer's bus that's been here for a long time and trying to finish it up. So I was working up to the last possible second again. I had to rush inside, get cleaned up, get fixed up a little bit. And now it's Friday at 5 o'clock. I'm completely, pretty much worn out from, this is the fall. We're supposed to be getting into the cool weather. That's what they say, but right now it's pretty hot here. It was like 80 something again today. So not too cool. And we're just out there sweating to the oldies, trying to get stuff done to help you guys out. So welcome to our channel. A lot of you guys come every week to check us out, and I definitely appreciate it. Definitely introduce yourself when you get a chance in the chat and say hi. Also, we have a way for you to donate to us. You can do that through the super chat if you wish, or better would be PayPal. And if we answer some questions for you, help you out, please help us out by donating or buying some parts from us. That's really what we like, definitely. And so please go ahead and take care of that. But if you're here, a lot of you guys are here every week, and you definitely buy stuff from us, except for Costas. Sorry, Costas, if you're out there. It's midnight in Greece. Do you know where your Costas is? Okay, I don't, because he hasn't bought anything yet. I keep talking about buying something. But anyway, that's all right, Costas. We still love you anyway. So, if you guys are out there and you need some help, please, in the chat, okay, you can ask us your questions. We'll be glad to try to answer them. And over the years, not just donations, people have actually given me things. I have a bunch of postcards here. I have a bunch of pictures of people's vans that they have donated and sent to me just to kind of let me know, hey, this is my van. This is what you helped me out with. Like I tried to explain to you guys also, we actually had have a new thing on our website called Rivet Works, where you guys can basically do that just through the website. And there's another live stream earlier this week we did to kind of show you that. So I'm not going to rehash that again, but if you want to deal with that, please do so. I just want to show you something this one lady gave me last week. Okay, it is a painting of a Vanagon Westie, and so I definitely appreciated that. This is this lady Sandy, and maybe I should do like an NPR moment and be like, we're like raising money for NPR and stuff, and if you give us like $200, you can get this Vanagon painting of a Vanagon. It's not a real Vanagon; it's a painting of a Vanagon. If I move it real fast, you can pretend it's like a Vanagon. Just only $200 and keep public funding alive and whatnot. And all the stuff that they say. What I really want is that Doctor Who mug that has the TARDIS on it. You know what I'm talking about? The blue one had the TARDIS on it, and you put the coffee in, and the TARDIS like disappears or something, or maybe it appears. I can't remember. But I even tried to buy it on eBay.
You tried to buy a TARDIS mug?
But it's like super old. It's from the 80s and stuff. So I kind of thought it'd be cool to make a Vanagon mug, and it could like vanish or appear or something. But I'm not sure exactly how that would work. Or you could have a Vanagon you painted to look like the TARDIS, but then it's kind of like, no, all right, never mind.
I mean, it would be cool.
I have like a Doctor Who super fan over here, and she's like giving me weird looks. So I guess it's probably stupid.
I would love a Vanagon painted like the TARDIS.
I mean, transports you through time and space and whatnot.
Very slowly.
It's just not. Yeah, it only goes forward in time and space, though, not in backwards.
Any other way.
If you back up, I mean, you go backwards in space, but not time.
Not time. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's not talk about Doctor Who. We're not here to talk about Doctor Who, unless you want to talk about him today. That's possible. But whatever you guys want to talk about, that's what we're here for.
Doctor Who is awesome.
So, all right, we talked about that picture. That was from a person who, I helped out. They said, here, I made this painting for you, and they gave it to me. So that was cool. So if you guys want to send me paintings or anything, oh, do we have anything in the chat?
Mincemeat is back. He says hi, Ken. Steve Reuter is back.
Steve.
Gord Sieberts?
Okay,
Sieberts says hey from Canada.
Canada. Bling.
And then Meg says, Ken, do you have any left B pillars?
I mean, I have two whole vans here that are parts cars. So if you want to come here and cut metal off of it, I will charge you $100, and you can chop as much as you like. Okay, I have one that I think the B pillar is pretty good shape on. It's a little rusty at the base of like where the windshield is, but I think the B pillar is good. So just let me know when you're coming so we can schedule that, and you can hack all you want. All right, do we got any more questions? Or I'll talk about this stuff right here.
We can talk about that right now.
Okie doke. So, one of the things I've ran into over the years is people having problems with their front shifter in their manual Vanagons. Basically, you're driving and everything's fine and dandy, and then one day your shifter goes boom and drops down, and people call me like all crazy. I need a new shifter. My shifter's broken. Sometimes the shift lever does break, but a lot of times it is this problem with the front shifter. And so we have these kits on our site. It's for rebuilding the front shifter. I don't know, it's hard to see through this little baggy wag here. So I'm going to open it up a little bit and look at the goodies inside. Okay. This one is all disassembled. So it's got all these pieces. It's got this piece. This is like your base of your shifter, metal. It pretty much never goes bad, but whatever. New one. Have a new one. The piece that usually breaks is this piece right here. It's like a plastic ring that is actually right at the base of this, okay? And then your shift lever comes up out of this, okay? And so when this little plastic ring piece here just kind of crumbles away and breaks, and that allows the whole shifter unit to drop down. So if you haven't thought about this yet, it's on the website. I think it's like $75 for this kit of all these pieces and parts and bushings for the front shifter, manual trans. That'd be a good idea, because driving down the road and having that shifter break apart on you is, then it turns it into like an emergency situation. So that's not good. And so that should be on your list of stuff to do, on the to-do list. If you don't know it's been done, now if it's been done, it'd probably be good for 10 years or more. If you don't do it, then you just never know. Could be fine, could not be fine. All right, any questions?
Nothing yet.
Okay, so that was one thing. I just got some more of those in. I don't know if you're interested in this at all, but we got some speedometers that we had rebuilt. Okay.
Oh, yay, those are back.
So we got these back. Actually, 2 of these are for customers, and you can see it still has the mileage. Okay. And, you know, we send these in and get them redone. One of them, the way these usually go bad is, you know, the numbers here on the odometer, they'll be crooked. Okay, and like I've had people buy vans before, and they tell me, Ken, I bought this van. It's got 75,000 original miles on it, and it's just super duper low miles, and I'm loving it. So they drive in here, and this odometer is like, and I'm like, dude, your odometer's broken. So who knows how many miles that? No, it's got 75,000 miles. I'm like, all right, drive it down the road at 1 mile and come back. All right, did the number change? No. Okay, so yeah, don't trust this. These odometers on these vans like to break. They broke less than 100,000 miles back in the day when the cars were new. But the good news is, you know, you can get them repaired. I actually send them out to a shop because I don't want to deal with, like, I've tried to repair them myself. I know this one guy sells a little small gear to fix it. And yeah, like, the problem is, at this stage in the game, usually they have like multiple issues. I had another one just recently, which is one of these where the needle would start going up and get to like 30 miles an hour and then just stop. And I'm going 60. Then it might go up to 60 another time, but then it wouldn't come back down. So I sent it to the shop. I said, what is going on with this speedometer? It's acting all retarded. The guy's like, it had a whole bunch of grease packed in it. I guess he was trying to rebuke me for doing that. I'm like, I didn't do nothing to it. Except I just drove the car and then acted crazy. So I got that fixed. But yeah, so speedometers, odometers, that's something that should be looked at some point. I mean, usually if it's not broke, I don't mess with it. But if you have your odometer is not straight across, that means usually it's not working. And your trip meter is very valuable too, because it helps you with your mileage, know how many miles per gallon you're getting, and that helps you know how good your van's running.
Inorganic is back. He says 2 questions.
Okay.
1, what material do you use for the pop top replacement canvas you sell?
Okay.
And then I need to reinstall my rear heater core. Do I need to clamp the coolant hoses when doing the job?
I usually do clamp the hoses off just to keep the spill mess to the minimum. You can get 2 little small wood clamps and clamp it, or you can get those clamps that go like this. You can buy clamps that are specifically for clamping off like heater hoses. Something, okay, because it just makes it less messy. It's going to still be messy, but if you clamp them off, then you go to change it, there'll be less coolant you lose. It has a little bleeder on the rear heater, so that helps bleed it out once you're done, and then you're done. So that's that answer to that. Pop top canvas that I really like is the cotton version. I have never used the hemp version. Not sure what that's all about. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, I guess that's a political statement more than anything else. I know people have been talking about hemp for years and how great it is and how it's going to do this and do that. And yeah, I think it's pretty much just we want marijuana to be legalized. And yeah, this show's not about that. So hemp, I have no clue. If it catches on fire, maybe get high off of that. I don't know. So that's good or bad, depending on what you like. I have messed with the Sunbrella canvas before, and I will say to you that I dislike it for a few reasons. One reason is it is super thick and hard to work with. So as you're trying to get it in place and get it set up, it doesn't like to stretch at all. And so it's very unyielding. And as you're putting it in place, I mean, it's hard enough to do a canvas normally, but doing a Sunbrella one, it is like 10 times harder, okay, because you're trying to stretch this really thick material that doesn't want to stretch at all. It's almost like a canvas of an awning. It's basically what Sunbrella is. And then the other problem I had with it, so I put it into an 85 Westie just to try it one time, and it's a lot more expensive than the cotton canvas. And so then you go to put the top up, and it's like, I mean, as you're trying to put it up, it's like trying to suction a vacuum inside the car. I had to open the sliding door to put it up. If I didn't have the sliding door open, it wouldn't go up. It's like, and it was ridiculous. I'm like, really? And, people are like, well, it's like, resists water better and like resists mold and resists the sun and all this other stuff. But here's the real deal. If your seal is good, then you're not going to have mold, and you don't want to put the top down when the thing's wet, so you let it dry out. It's fine. There's no mold involved. You make sure it's tucked in good. It's not going to get moldy neither. Okay? And the canvas one, if you don't touch it with your hands, it won't leak either. So water resistant, meh, meh, meh. And then, I mean, how much is this thing going to get popped up? Okay? I mean, its entire life, it might be popped up for a week, 2 weeks, a month. Okay? Let's be realistic about this. And so, unless you're camping out every single day of the week, it's going to get, you know, for like you're like a van life person or something, your canvas top or your pop top is going to see very little sunlight. And so the cotton ones, I've seen them here, you know, the original ones, they're still not faded. They were made out of cotton. So that's a really long way of saying I like the cotton ones. That was the original ones. They're not as bad to install. They work easily. We actually have a new one that's like a lighter cotton material that I actually like because it's even easier to install. It's not as taut as some of the later ones or some of the other aftermarket ones. And yeah, and when you go to put it up, it's like goes up real easy. You're like, whoa, this thing's nice. And so yeah, so I like cotton.
Inorganic says thanks for the help. And then Indigenous Pathways says, hello, Ben again. Regarding speedometers, how do you correct the odometer / tachometer reading after you move from 14 to 16-inch tires?
I have no idea. I mean, there's charts out there. You can try to figure out things. I mean, I guess this guy who calibrated the speedometer. See, the thing you got to understand is like speedometer, odometers in the Vanagon, they're not quite for entertainment purposes only, but they're getting there. They're not accurate. Okay, they're not super accurate. Even with 14-inch tires, the proper size tires you want, all this other stuff, it's not 100% accurate. I mean, I drive around with a GPS sometimes. My little lady of the road. Mine is named Agatha. Okay. And Agatha has a British accent, and she tells me things like where to go and what to do. And I always listen to what she has to say. And so Agatha, I'm driving the Vanagon down the road. It says it's going 55 miles an hour. Agatha says 47. Guess who's right? Agatha's right. I don't believe that speedometer in that van because it's, you know, it's accurate to a point. So I don't really know if there's a way to recalibrate it for bigger tires, bigger wheels. You know, like I said, there's a lot of discussion about tires and wheels online, and there's charts about what sizes. You know, really your rolling diameter is what you're thinking about, and I really have no clue how to recalibrate that. I could talk to my speedometer guy again and ask him if there's a way to do it. I would say there's some kind of gear you might be able to change in there. But again, you might have to make a custom one or something. I don't know of anybody that's doing that. So sorry. The tires can only be so big to actually fit in the wheel wells. I mean, I would say you're going to have a percent error, but it's probably not going to be more than like 5 miles an hour or something. I could be wrong. Prove me wrong. Okay.
They said at least you're honest. Like
yeah, I have no clue.
At least you're honest.
Like I've looked into tires and wheels is the most popular discussion in the Vanagon world. I've been in the Vanagon world for 20 years. Guess how many times on the Vanagon list we have talked about tires and wheels? Like 20 bagillion. That's a pretty accurate number. Why? Because people like tires and wheels. They're always needing them. And, you know, it's something that people that don't know a lot about Vanagons can talk about a little bit and be like, I know things about tires and wheels, which is good. I don't know as much about it, I guess.
They say, okay, thanks. I heard it was 2.5% miles.
Per miles, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, I don't really think the Speedos are that accurate. You know, I would drive with your van and drive with a GPS in your phone or your little GPS lady or whatever, and just see what's going on. You know, with those bigger wheels, your Speedo might actually be accurate because with the 14-inch ones, a lot of times it's like 5 miles, 7 miles off per hour, and that's going to translate into your odometer being off too. So do research, find out, you can tell us later. I would definitely appreciate it. Any knowledge I can get into this brain is helpful, and I share it with other people. All right, what else we got? Anything?
No.
Wheels and tires. Like I said, we could talk about that till the cows come home. Really, tell you the truth.
It says, "Will do."
All right, I'm just trying to think of anything else going on. I read an article today about Volkswagen in Chattanooga. You know, I went to school in Chattanooga, Tennessee, back in the day, and there's a Volkswagen factory there now. It wasn't there when I was there, or I would have maybe tried to get a job there. I worked at Frigidaire when I was there, but Frigidaire warehouse. But there's Volkswagen factory in Chattanooga, and they're having a summer camp for kids to come and learn about stuff and things, learn about motors and robots and all kinds of stuff. And it sounds kind of cool. That was a cool story. I mean, and it was from Volkswagen Central Thingamadoodlers. You know, they're still trying to get past the whole Dieselgate thing, right? I mean, what do you guys think about Dieselgate? I really think Dieselgate was dumb, but that's me.
Billy Shepard is watching.
Hey, Billy Shepard.
Says late to the party.
How
I
you
said
doing?
better late than never.
I mean, unless you want me to tell you why I think Dieselgate was dumb. I want to be all topical. This is not only a Vanagon show, this is a Volkswagen hard-hitting news show.
Nice.
Yep, you gotta have that little.
And
Why do they put that across there? You can't read that and listen to the person.
And it goes super fast too, so you
Yeah,
have
it's hard
to
to
sit
read.
there and read it
Like,
at like
people
the
are trying
speed
to
of
read
light.
this.
Like no one's actually paying attention to the real news. We're
We're all
trying to
reading the
read
ticker
thing
that goes
about-
across the bottom.
Like, what the heck?
All right.
Steve Ruder says any new NLA parts.
Any new NLA parts? I'm just trying to think. There's one part I just got, but it's been out for a little while. Let me see here.
What's TDI?
What's TDI? That's a turbo diesel, my friend.
Oh, that's what Mink said. Mink said I'll still go TDI.
You got it, man. Anybody that's into the TDI thing, there's very few people that I know that has TDIs that gave, you know what, on that whole Dieselgate thing.
Billy says I seen where someone just robbed a bunch of those TDI engines.
Okay,
What the heck is
that's not what that's supposed to be. This is a hose for the late model Vanagon automatic that was discontinued for a while. We have them now. That's not helping Steve though, because he's got air cooled. I'm just trying to think. I haven't even had a chance to go through Steve's list. He sent me a list of stuff that he was interested in me trying to get reproduced and finding out about. And yeah, I've been meaning to do it. I've looked at it several times, sat down, got ready to type things in to try to search for them. And then the phone rings and stuff. I mean, our office is like super mess right now.
Yeah, we had gotten it cleaned up for like a day.
We had it cleaned a little bit,
For like a day.
but it didn't last.
It never
and,
lasts.
We just got a shipment of stuff in today, so that was another problem. That's another reason why it's all messed up and wrecked.
Steve says not just me, about 50 others.
I know. I'm trying. See, I'm trying. Don't worry, it's on the radar. It's just, you know, this project that I've had here for like 3 years is trying to get done, so that's slightly higher on the radar.
Mink says he 3D printed the arms for the glove boxes.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
That's cool. Yeah.
I think that's really cool. Like, if you can get some kind of industrial grade 3D printer that can print out like even metal parts that like aren't made anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's the new stuff. That's the new hotness is the 3D printing thing. I mean, I would love to get into that. It's just I'm not sure how well stuff holds up. Now, I mean, we have some of our parts that we have made. They don't 3D print them, but they use a computer like milling machine to make our window. There's little window square things I showed you guys for the window manual window crank things, and also these little shifter pieces that are milled. And eventually, I mean, 3D printing is going to be the stuff, right? You need this really obscure whatever. You can just have it 3D printed. So, but I don't know if we're actually there yet or not. Like I've seen some of the 3D printed parts. Usually they're more for like prototypes, and you send them to a manufacturer and have them use that as a guide more than like, okay, I'm making this bushing and now I can just put it in my car, because I don't think it would really hold up very well over time. Like it might last for a month and then it's wore out because the material is not really made to take heat, vibration,
Yeah, like the
oil, all that stuff.
material.
Yeah, like it might kind of like melt. I mean, how they make, it's like this little string. It's basically like a fancy hot glue gun.
Yeah, it's super duper
Machine.
fancy hot glue gun.
And the little hot glue gun machine is controlled by a computer and making it. But then it can melt again, right? Because it melted in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
They even have metal ones too. Jay Leonard's got one in his garage, a sintering machine, and it welds and all that stuff and makes metal parts. But again, like, I'm not sure how much use he's getting out of that. All right. Anybody else have any questions? We got 10 people on here, so that's cool.
Thanks for saying that.
Welcome out.
I guess the 3D thingy for printing out the glove box arms is on Thingiverse. I'm
Okay,
not sure
Thingiverse.
Thingiverse. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
what that's supposed to be.
I've heard of them.
This
It's
is
like,
under Mince Made,
okay,
and it's there for everybody
okay.
to use.
I mean, that's cool, and I mean, I would definitely do something like that if I had a 3D printer, and that's one of the cool parts about the 3D printing community. They have their own community, so you get the 3D printer and you can make something like Dan made there for the glove boxes, and there might be some other things you could make, and the glove box things that could hold up. I mean, it's not like a shift bushing; it's something that just the glove box things hanging there on it or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like though you'd have to get some kind of like more sophisticated 3D model design software, because the software that's on this computer right now, you can't really make anything that sophisticated. You can like choose from some already made 3D models, but like they're not anything that you would use in real life, like a fish. Who's gonna use a fish?
Leah was playing with, I don't know if you know this or not, but all of us old school people, right, we're used to paint in Windows, unless you're an Apple person. But paint in Windows has been a thing since time immemorial.
Microsoft.
Okay. And now they have a new version of Paint, but they call it 3D something.
It's like, 3D Paint. It's basically like MS Paint, except they have all these like pre-built 3D models that you can go in there and like airbrush or like paint or whatever. But it's just kind of like when you try to design your own 3D model, it's really tricky, and it's like all freehand. And it's like they don't really let you. It's just ridiculous. It's all freehand, and freehand, nobody can draw a circle perfect to save their life. So you're
except for Leonardo da Vinci.
Apparently. But like you can't freehand draw like this part in a 3D thing. So it's just kind of like you would need to get some good software. Like Mike said, he uses Fusion 360. So like you have to get some good 3D software to be able to design something that looks, good.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's anything's like that. I mean, the free stuff that you get. So they were having a fit not too long ago about Windows, where people were trying to, Microsoft said, we're getting rid of Paint. We're using this 3D Paint is the new thing. And people were upset about that. And, but anything you get for free has limitations.
MS Paint was my childhood, man.
Usually. So,
like kids from the 90s, that's all they would do if they didn't have internet. They'd make the big fat doodle on MS Paint, and then they fill in all the little spaces in between with different rainbow colors. I mean,
there you go.
That and Solitaire and the weird built-in pinball game. Like, that's the 90s stuff. You're a 90s kid if that's what you did in your free time with no internet.
All right, let's get back to Vanagons. We're getting off the MS Paint and whatnot and the MakerBots. Unless somebody wants to donate a MakerBot to me, that would be awesome. So I don't have, maybe Dan has a old 3D printer that he bought, and it's like, I don't use that one anymore. I'll take it if you want to donate it to us. We can make Dan's parts on it, and we'll send them to him. I don't know. Then I'll be happy. Everybody will be happy.
Billy says, will you be able to get those engine wiring harnesses after New Year's?
So I have an engine wiring harness for a 1.9 being made right now, and I have two 2.1 harnesses being made right now. So they should be done probably next week. So I should have one. I mean, but I don't know if it's going to be here till after New Year's, but I'll have one hopefully next week. Oh, and also my engine harness man, like I have come up with this kit for cruise control for the Vanagon. It's basically like a kit that you can buy that's been around forever. Okay, it's what they call the AudioVox kit, and it's basically a vacuum controlled cruise control with a speed sensor that works great. Okay, and I've installed them lots of times on customers' Vanagons. It would probably work on a bus. It would work on air-cooled Vanagon. I probably wouldn't work on a diesel, but it would work on pretty much everything else. I guess you might be able to make it work on a diesel, but I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to be selling that kit. The only holdup is that the original kit, the harness is not long enough. They have a harness that goes from the motor, you know, where you mount the vacuum unit all the way up to the front, and you have to extend the wires like a lot, like 14 feet. So what I'm doing is my engine harness man is making a harness for me that just makes it plug and play, and you can, you know, have this extra piece of harness that you just plug in, and it extends it out, and then it makes it way easier. I mean, that's like the biggest pain of installing that, is extending that harness. And so once I get those, I got one coming next week, and once I get that, I can start selling the kit, the cruise control kit with this extended harness, with some instructions and things for you guys. And I think you'll really like it. If you, I really love cruise control in the Vanagon. My leg bothers me a lot. I have like sciatica in this one leg here, and if I put my foot down and hold it down for like a long period of time for the gas pedal, it kills me. Okay, so if you have that cruise, it saves your leg that way, and it helps you with your gas mileage, everything. So that is coming. That's on the way. Okay, I'm glad somebody said something about the harnesses. Bill said about the harnesses.
Nandor Sign Frame says, "Hey Ken, part 2 of your fuel tank video. When is that going to finish? I would like to drive my van."
Yes. So if you're waiting for that to drive your van, Dan's going to be waiting for a little while.
That's a sad story.
Because we talked about this before. Long story short, my phone ate the second half of the video. Like, we filmed it the same day we filmed the first half. And it was like maybe another 10 minutes. And we got all said and done. And I was getting ready to post it online, and it disappeared.
I mean, so, could not get it back.
No. And apparently this is a problem with certain phones, Pixel phones. If you're making a video and you pause the video, you know, they have a thing where you're recording and you push pause, then you can keep going. Well, I did that on the first half. It was fine. Second half, did that, got to the end. It never, like, finalized the video for whatever reason. Even though I pushed stop and we did everything like we're supposed to, it never finalized it. So that video just went. That's what happened to that video.
It went into the void.
Yep, it went out to the void and never to return. I've searched through my whole phone, all the files on the phone, trying to find something, remnants of it, nothing. So what's going to happen is part 2 is going to get, when the next time I need to put a gas tank in for somebody, we're going to do part 2. I don't know when that's going to be.
If we can remember where we left off.
It might be 6 months from now or a year from now. So what you want to do is take part 1, play it in reverse.
That's what he says. He's like, I could do it in reverse, but I would like to see you do it.
That's right. Part 1, play it in reverse. Just do that. That's all I can recommend, because right now, and I mean, this person here was very upset. I mean, words came out.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
No,
She didn't say
no.
any bad words.
No.
But she thought bad words. Bad words was thinking in there, maybe.
I mean, I'm only human.
Yeah, I hear you. So, you know,
Can't
she
be
didn't
perfect.
say anything, but I could see it in her eyes. Like flames were shooting out. She wanted to kill the phone. I don't, know if that would have helped anything.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of a perfectionist.
But she was upset because she was shooting it. She took time to do it. So unfortunately, part 2 is
not happening for a good long
yeah,
while.
not happening.
Unfortunately,
Indeterminate when that's going to happen. This
Yeah.
kind of like Half-Life 3 or something. It's not. Who knows when that's going to happen?
I mean, I'm kind of a perfectionist.
Also, Star Citizen.
And that's why it bothers me, because, like, I put a lot of work and effort into doing
If
something.
you paid for Star Citizen.
And then, like, if it doesn't work out or if it doesn't go the way I planned, I get really upset. So it's, like, it's really hard when me and him, we both worked our butts off filming that video, and then it went away.
They just went away.
For literally no
For
reason
no
at all.
good reason. And when I went online to look on the Pixel thing, all these people were bemoaning, like, the exact same thing. Like, except one guy was like, this was my daughter's, like, first steps.
First steps.
First time she said Dada. First birthday.
First birthday party,
I'm sitting there going, why are you filming all this stuff on this same, like, he kept having these problems where it was losing the videos. I'm like, why do you keep filming the first things on this stupid phone that keeps, like, eating your videos or losing them? Like, get something else, dude. Really. I mean,
get, like, a regular filming
he's really
camera
mad at Google Pixel, but, you know, right? Like Scotty says, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Okay, so apparently his name is Pete, and he says if you come to Australia, you could put mine in.
Okay, I'm ready. Just send me the tickets. I'm there.
Although, I just want to know, in Australia, do y'all have to worry about, like, because I've seen...
I want to know if the toilet swirls in the other direction.
I have seen pictures on the internet of, like, spiders bigger than my head.
Yeah.
Is that, like, a thing that you Australians have to struggle with, like, on a daily basis?
Of course.
Like, every morning when you get up out of bed, like,
yes.
okay, is there a giant spider, like, right next to me or on my face?
They're right here on your forehead.
Like,
doing a little dance.
Spiders this big. Like, I've seen videos and pictures on the internet.
And sharks. Remember the sharks.
Oh, yeah, and the sharks. And the killer birds. Do y'all have killer birds? Because I read this post on Tumblr, and they were like, I live in Australia, and there's a season where there's these birds that try to attack you, and it's hard to walk to school because I'm getting attacked by birds. So, but I mean, you can't really trust Tumblr because it's Tumblr. But...
No, I don't think the killer birds are a thing. But the spiders and the sharks, man, and there's, like, certain particular...
And, like, snakes?
Snakes.
Crazy snakes that try to kill you. I mean, Australia would be an interesting place to visit.
Sure.
Although
I don't care about any of that stuff.
I would be cautious.
I care nothing about any of those things. Spiders, snakes.
I
mean, I don't like them,
severe fear of
I'm
spiders.
not scared of them.
Okay? Even a spider like this big, I see it, and I'm ready to climb the wall in the other direction. I mean,
They freak out.
I'm bad about that.
All right, anyway, do we want to devolve into an Australian discussion now? All right, we're here to talk about Vanagons.
Steve Reuter says you eat an average of 5 giant spiders in Australia, wink, per year.
Yeah, that's right. When you're asleep. See, that makes it even better.
But that's an urban legend. That doesn't exist.
But they eat spiders when you're asleep?
Yeah, isn't that an urban legend that they, like, teenagers tell little kids to scare the crap out of them?
I don't know. All right, let's not talk about spiders. Let's continue.
That was something that people told me when I was a kid. I'm like, you're pulling my leg.
All right, I'm just thinking, do we have anything else to talk about? Because I might call it a day here. Like I said, I'm tired. Usually what happens is we get down to the last, like, 10 minutes, and then everybody starts asking all kinds of questions.
He says they have huntsmen that cruise your house, and they're about man-hand sized.
Sweet.
That's still really big.
That's pretty big.
Like, his hand is probably the size of my head, so it's like, that's big.
Yeah, as long as they're hunting other bugs and not hunting me, I guess I'm okay with it. As long as they don't go for the neck. Okay.
No neck.
All right, guys. So I'm just trying to think of anything else going on. I guess no one has still signed up for our Patreon page. Again, you know, we're trying to transition to do more videos and things. And that would help us out if you guys want to get involved with the Patreon thing. Now, you know, take a look, see what you guys think. I mean, if you guys don't want to do it, I can take the Patreon page down. It's not really like it's actually costing me any money or anything. It's just another way to fund more videos and try to get more ideas for videos from people who are supporting us that way. So, you know, just think about the Patreon thing if you get a moment.
He says, bigger brakes, are they worth it also? I see some also upgrade the brake booster. Is this worthwhile?
So the brake booster, I've always wondered about that. Why you would want to upgrade that. You know, the regular one is decent sized. I've never actually ran out of boosterage with it. But, you know, the thing that I don't know, see, we live here in New Jersey, and it is super flat here. Okay, so my experience driving a Vanagon on the Sierra Nevada mountains is limited. I did drive one. It was like 18 years ago, and I didn't have any problems at all. But some people like to ride the brakes. Some people, you know, I had one customer just recently who had his brakes go out on him up in Canada. And it was basically, afterwards, he's like, it was going downhill, it was super windy, and he was basically just riding the brakes all the way down the hill. His brakes, you know, fluid evaporated, and he had no brakes. And he called me. He's like, I need, you know, new brakes and all this stuff. But then he's like, but then it came back. I'm like, yeah, because your fluid flashed and turned into gases, and you can compress gases. You can't compress liquid. So the big brakes, the thing that I like about them, they have more surface area for the pad, so that has to be better. They have vented, they're vented, so your possibility of fluid is lower. Okay, so in other words, it cools it down. The only real downside to it is that you have to get bigger wheels, which some people want that anyway. Okay, so you have to have 15-inch wheels or larger. Really, the largest wheel that might fit on a Vanagon is like 17 inches anyway. I mean, I guess you could put bigger ones in, but then you're hitting into stuff. So you definitely, if you're doing the big brakes, you know, it's not really that much more. If you decided to put all brand new calipers on, all brand new rotors, all brand new wheel bearings, okay, and you added all that stuff up, and then the cost of the big brake kit, it's not really that much more, okay. But the biggest thing is that you have to have the bigger front. You have to have the bigger wheels to be able to deal with it. So. I mean, I've driven vans that had the big brake kits on. Did I really notice a big difference? Not really. Why not? Because I'm not really driving them in something that would actually test them, okay, and put them under the kind of a strain that they would, you know, what my experience is with brakes with the Vanagon is if really the feel of the brakes is more dependent on the rear brakes and the front brakes. I know that sounds weird. And I rejected it initially. So I had a customer come in, brake pedal goes way down, brake pedal's pulsing, and it just feels terrible. So I'm like, oh, front rotors are warped, and the front brake pads are bad, and everything's messed up. So I got all the new stuff for the fronts, put that all on, still doing the exact same thing. I'm like, what the heck? So just for the heck of it, I look at the backs. The drums are thin. The shoes are wore out. The wheel cylinders are leaking. Put all new stuff on the back, and that's really where the pedal felt way better after that. Okay, so if you have a bad pedal feel, a lot of it's due to the rear brakes instead of the front brakes. And I would say big brakes would only really be helpful or effective if you are driving lots of mountains. Okay. And you like to ride the brakes. Now, I mean, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to go down in gears and let the transmission, you know, slow you down. Even if you have an automatic, you can shift down into second if you're going downhill for like long periods of time. You know, that is called driving with skill. Do not ride the brakes, okay? But, you know, big brake kit, I think, is worth it if you are in those kind of circumstances. If you're not in those circumstances, if you live in New Jersey like me, it's not really going to do much for you. So just trying to be honest, I could say, it's going to make your whole van be better and things. No. Okay. What else we got? We're almost out of time anyway, I think.
I don't have any more questions.
We have 3 whole minutes. So, yeah, we're doing pretty good. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I know it's pretty scattered today with talking about Doctor Who, Australia, spider bugs, and other things about MS Paint. Like, well, you didn't come here to talk about that stuff. But you got some of it anyway. And the Dieselgate. See, we could have talked about that the whole time. But we didn't. So I spared you on that. But, you know, hope you guys get more smiles per gallon with your van. If you want certain topics to talk about, please definitely put them in the comments description below. Please like and subscribe, and please, enjoy your Vanagon and be awesome with it and enjoy it a lot, because that is what we want. We want you to be able to enjoy your van and have a good time with it. So have a great weekend, guys. Enjoy your vans, and we will see you next week. All right, peace.